Hi, hello, it's thieleaf. It's been a couple days, quite a few days since I made my April currently inked. I got caught up doing lots of other things, but I'm gonna do my May one. In this video, these are the pens. You might be able to tell what they are from this. And I'm going to do the same format as before. This is the hobonichi, just the grid notebook, the original tomoe of the paper. I'm using this cocktail stirrer, same as my last video. I didn't think that through. And if you'd like to look at this one, I can link the video too. Sorry, I have this at my I have my phone at an angle so that I can have like a more natural thing. There is unfortunately shadow, but I can't sit at this table any other angle, so that will just have to be how it is. I might try and zoom in also because I do write small. Like last time, I'm going to have the swatching segment be no music in the background, so you can feel free to put on your own music. I'm also going to have it real time, so if you want to watch it a bit sped up, you know, you can use the speed settings to do that. But if you just want to have like a little chill happy hum in the background, and there'll be a timestamp for when I start talking and going through the inks after they've dried. Yeah, so I'll be shutting up now. That's not. Okay. Okay, that's all of these swatched. They're going to take a while to dry, especially these linen toolbar ones, and especially Harvest. I've noticed this one takes a really long time to dry. That was those, and then I'll be right back to you once these have dried, and I'll give close-ups and talk about them more in depth. Okay, hi, we're back. It took a really long time for this to dry. Specifically this one, the paper stayed damp for a really long time. It's why it's still kind of wrinkly. And I did end up smudging it a little bit, but that's fine. I'll do some close-ups. This is everything together. And I'll actually move the camera closer so that there's less movement than the last video. Okay, how's that? This is still really... My phone is really, really close. I'm a little worried about it managing to focus, but we'll try it. It seems to not quite know where on the page to focus, but that's fine. Okay, so first there is Sailor Yurameku Seki in the Kaweco Sport Light Lavender. It does come out mostly as a grey, but there is some nice colour shading that happens if I go really up close. You'll maybe be able to see it. It depends on how well the camera wants to focus. Yeah, just a really pretty grey that separates into green and pink. It's really lovely. Next up we have Tono Kaleidoscope Izayoi in the twsbi Eco Irish Green. This one is really interesting. It's very, very pale, but if I just show you this book, this is the 2025 A6 Home. So this has the new Sanzen paper, the 2024 Sanzen paper. I luckily have not had any issues. But what's really interesting here is that this is that same ink in this pen. I don't know how well it's showing up on camera, but it's much, much less green. I'll do a little swatch down here. And we'll see. It could be that something's happened inside the pen that's made it change. I'm not really sure. It's been very interesting. You know, scrap all of that. It is kind of going green rather than blue, so I don't really know why it was so blue on a previous page, because it had been inked and used for a while. Yeah, I don't really know what that's about. Anyway, it's a very, very pretty, very pale, but again, in my handwriting, this is a common theme with my handwriting because it's so small. It's the ink pools in the whole of the letters, so it doesn't end up feeling that small. Feeling that pale when I write with it specifically. Yeah, then we've next got Diamine Cult Pens, The Great Wall of China, and I have that in the Sailor Slam Manyo Chestnut. I don't think the colours are being done justice, honestly. It's got really, really lovely shading. It's quite similar to Ferris Wheel Press Moss Park Green, I believe. Yeah, here is Moss Park Green. It's a little darker. It's a little okay, I'm back. My roommate was asking me for outfit advice. Yep, I have that one in this one. It's a medium nib. I unfortunately don't get very much shading because of it being, you know, my handwriting and the ink being quite well flowing. It's not like a wet ink by any means, but it, the ink will pools. You know, it's a really pretty color though. It's nice and green. I do love greens. I think it looks a little darker. Yeah, than it does in person, but that's fine. Next, there is Machu Picchu, but I have it in the Kaweco Sport Blush Pitaya with a nice contrasting colour. I have it in an extra fine nib, which does mean that it is quite dark again. It has some really pretty shading in here though, even if it doesn't get seen so much in my handwriting. Also, I'd like to apologize, my handwriting is quite messy and bigger than normal. You know, setting this up to do swatches, I can't quite write at the angle I would normally be writing at. Okay, next we have Sailor Moroccan mint tea in the Benu Pixie. It's a much cooler yellow than this, but in writing it actually matches quite well. I do really love this pen. Mine had some issues originally with the threads catching. I don't know if you can see that as I do this. It's been getting better as I've been using it, but you know, that's just a thing. I got an extra fine nib. It is very wet, and I probably should have gotten a fine maybe to see if the ink would spread out more. I generally find that with my handwriting, even medium nibs tend to show more shading because the ink is being dispersed over a larger area. There's less pooling. Yeah, that's just my handwriting being quite small. This is really messy handwriting, sorry. Okay, next is Harvest by Lennon Toolbar. I put this in the honey kaweco, and this obviously is a little bit more orange than this, but I think in writing it ends up being quite a lovely match. Sorry, this is very hard to show. Yes, in writing this is this is a pretty good match to that. I really like how a lot of Lennon Toolbar inks have quite pale inks that are still very, I mean, I find pale inks quite legible, but these ones are still quite, I don't know, there's something about the way they sit on the page that's nice. Part of me wonders if they are pigment inks and they're being mislabeled, but I don't think so. It's strange. I love Lennon Toolbar, to be clear. Then we have dried longan in the Cafe Bronze. It's actually a very similar color. I would say dried longan is just a little bit more pink toned than the cafe color. It's a very soft kind of light brown. It's very lovely. And then finally there is sesame oil, which I have in the smoke rose gold. This nib, I will say, is actually not the smoke rose gold nib. It is the bronze nib from my espresso, from this one. And this one has the rose gold nib that should be in this pen. I swapped them around because there is something wrong with this nib. It does not flow properly, and I'll just be swapping it in and out of things until I can get it seen by someone who, you know, knows what they're talking about. I tried doing some things like flossing the tines, gently pressing on it, sanding it. Hold on. But yeah, it's a little weird. It doesn't work properly, so that's a shame. And I'm sure I could reach out to TWsbi and they'd fix it, but I just can't. I don't have the energy to do that. But yeah, we have it in this, and it is really such a lovely color. I was so pleased when Stile suddenly had it in stock. It does have some more yellowish undertones in person, but yeah. So scrap all of that. Maybe not, maybe I'll include it still. But this is some much more color accurate zoom ins because I'm standing near a window and there is no shadows being cast. I can also take you into some direct sunlight, but I think that makes everything look much too dark. Yeah, I've been really enjoying using all of these inks. They definitely added some things that I was missing from this lineup and kind of the last ones here. I do have some plans for June. Gosh, it feels horrible to realize that June is only really a couple days away. But I have some pages in my copy paste journal I need to fill out first. In here I have, I use each pen for a double page like this, but I am quite behind. So like this is dried guava by Lennon, which is this one here. Here is Nadeshko from there, and this is the next one. So I'm quite behind on doing these, but I can also show you the small swatches that I did here. I had originally had seki in the extra fine nib, but let me take this up here. Maybe you can see seki was just a bit too dark. In the extra fine. Yeah. And you can see what I mean here about this last one, the Great Wall of China. I think you can see how in my larger writing, where I take up the whole square, there's more shading happening, but not so much in my normal handwriting size. Okay, I think that's it. My next video will either be a June inked, but I don't think so actually. No, hold on. Because I do this by inked during that month. These weren't all inked on the same day. So I think my next video will probably be some kind of journal with me. And maybe I'll talk over the top, or maybe it will just be, you know, some quiet background noise. Maybe it will be my copy paste to kind of encourage myself to get more up to date on that one. So yeah, that is all. Bye bye.